Yeah, I was like, did I fall asleep for an hour and not realize it?
No. There's just one little button you have to click to toggle scheduling a tweet or just posting it. And two times in a row, I just never click the button. All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody? Wednesday, February 27th. We put that mess of a 3-game slate to bed, and we're right back with a monster. Should be a fun one. I'm digging these big slates for some reason. I'm tired of the yesterday was just rough between all of the Knicks garbage. Boston being, I don't even know what word would describe the Boston Celtics from yesterday.
Laker-ish?
Yeah, I guess. I wouldn't have expected the Raptors to put up 120 or whatever, and for Kawhi to have a pedestrian day. But shout out Pascal Siakam.
He's so good.
He is. He's not as good as Jayson Tatum, but he's good. Had to bring it up. Raptors take that trade in a second, by the way. In a vacuum. I don't think they do it today, right now, in their stretch, but in the off season, I think they take that, no doubt.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Jayson Tatum has more future value, but
he's 4 years younger than him.
Right, they're not gonna just be oh yeah, in the middle of this playoff push, let's replace.
No, they would never do it right now. Right. I don't know. Masai might. There aren't a lot if he sat down and was look, you know what? We might take a half step back this year to be 3 steps forward in 2 years or something.
Yeah.
I would trust him enough to at least think about that decision. But yeah, I saw that last night. I was I'll just bring it up tomorrow morning. It'll be more fun. All right, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. NBA Strategy is the promo code. 50% off your first month with us. Any package you choose, including stuff with Fantasy Cruncher, you get 50% off. We are brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. If you go to bit.ly/Thrive. Nope, damn it. Again, it was Thrive for a while, and that got stuck in my head, and then it became Awesemo. bit.ly/Awesemo. $10 on your first $10 deposit, 20 on 100, 50 on 200. It's a DFS site where you handle player props. They'll give you a list of 20. You pick your favorite 10. You're picking whether someone's going to go over points, rebounds, assists, combinations of stats. You get a certain amount of points if you are correct. At the end of the show, Adam and I will go through our favorite 5. I hate when we only have one game starting at 7 o'clock.
I love it.
And 4 at 7:30. Now, I just hate it because of the I'd rather have 4 at 7 o'clock and 1 at 7:30. Just from a news perspective.
Yeah, that's true. On the bigger slates, though, I just because I'm always obviously scrambling up to lock, so I like having that oh, well, I messed this up, but I can just redo it minus this one game.
I just hate it because it's really hard for me to balance making updates for everybody else and fixing my own stuff.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I just want time. Tatum's entire future value is not off of one playoff series. It's the fact that he was a top 3 draft pick and a pedigree of a high-end NBA player for the past 4 years.
Yeah, he's a superstar.
Yeah. Or at least he should be.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mean he is right now.
Cool. Adam and Josh today. I'm going to run to the store and be back in time for Game 1 analysis. Be right back.
I feel like we're the shorter of the 2 shows.
We're the more efficient of the 2 shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, by miles. Laffy and I went for an hour and 45 minutes yesterday on that 3.
Yeah, I was in chat at 11 o'clock, and they said you guys were still on.
We get caught up. We have too much time, so we just chat it up.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Here we go. 11 gamer. Alrighty. Hornets and Rockets. 111.5 implied total for the Hornets. 115.5 for the Rockets. Man, the Hornets defense is really not good lately. And nor is their offense. Craziness. Kemba, 8,800 on FanDuel, 8,500 on DK, 39 on Yahoo. This is pretty much where he normally is for me. Any part of Kemba that I get on DraftKings is fine, but 8,800 on FanDuel is not too bad.
Yeah, not at all. I really like the price tag on him. Obviously hasn't been great lately, but Not like it's a bad matchup here against Houston, and we know the kind of upside that he offers. So when his price tag gets into that mid 8K range, or on FanDuel, obviously, like below 9K, it becomes really appealing for me.
Yeah, 14% ownership on FanDuel right now, but I would probably be over that number. It's just a really nice spot for him when he gets back under 9K on FanDuel. It's going to be a lot to like, though, today, so patience, I guess. Is there anything that... Okay, well, I guess we need to talk about this. Marvin Williams is out for the Hornets. Who do you see being the biggest benefactor of that?
I think there's a few of them. I assume Jeremy Lamb goes back into the starting lineup. I think that they'll slide Batum and Bridges down a spot, especially against the Houston. Well, I guess Houston's playing bigger now. But I still don't really know what alternatives they have. So I assume that those guys slide down a spot. So you get Jeremy Lamb back up around 30 minutes. You get Bridges playing, 30, 31 with some of that time at the 4, which is nice. And then Cody Zeller, I think, maybe picks up a couple of more minutes just because Williams was the backup center or one of the backup centers. So I think there's a couple more minutes there for Zeller.
Okay. So you see Bridges getting up into the 30s. What do you think the impact is for MKG?
I think he probably plays like 27, 28.
Okay, so you're giving no minutes to Frank Kaminsky?
A couple.
Okay. I was just short on a couple guys while you were talking there, and I have 8 minutes to Frank Kaminsky.
Yeah, I have like 3.
Okay, so let's go ahead and give Bridges 2 more. Nope.
The only reason that I kind of hesitate there is because of Houston going with Capela and Fareed lately. Like if they were still going Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, I wouldn't think twice. But if they're going to play that big, like would it, could they go like Kaminsky Zeller? I don't think they will. But
God, that's ugly.
Yeah. James Borrego doesn't really seem like the type that actually I know he's not. He's made statements before about not reacting to other teams and looking to do what he wants to do.
All right, I bump up Bridges. I bumped up MKG. Bridges pretty chalky on DK. Batum a little chalky on DK, 4,700. I have no problem playing those guys, even if they are getting a little ownership. Obviously, Batum scares me, but I'm on him constantly. But MKG at 3,200, I guess, is sort of viable, but I would rather have... Okay, would you rather have Bridges or MKG? Bridges at 18% right now, MKG at 6.
MKG.
Okay. Yeah, I don't disagree there. I mean, I think Bridges is the better play, but that's just an easy flip-flop spot.
I mean, I have them projected almost identical.
I have Bridges quite a bit ahead of him. Either way, it's a spot with value to start off this entire slate. Not the worst spot in the world, not the best. Houston plays slow, so that's not exactly fun. I guess there's probably 6 viable guys on the Hornets today. That's never something you want.
Yeah, I have it at 6.
I mean, Cody Zeller for 6,800 on FanDuel, I don't really see as viable, but that's neither here nor there. God, that's a lot of Hornets.
Yeah, and I mean, as of right now, though, it's not like there's a ton of value on this slate.
Yeah, that's true.
That'll probably change. But
so, favorite play on the Hornets today on DK? Yeah, same. FanDuel, same. FanDuel for sure, same then.
Yeah.
All right, Rockets side. 12K for Harden on FanDuel, 11.2 on DK, 58 on Yahoo. I love him still. I like him more on FanDuel than I do on DraftKings because of the position stuff. How are you managing Harden now that they're sort of like back to full strength?
I on this particular slate, I kind of doubt that I get much, just because of how much I love Giannis, and because you have Towns in a good spot, you have Luka. So I have guys to pay up for that don't include Harden, but since Paul came back, you still have close to a 40% usage rate for Harden. You're still playing 37 minutes. It's not that I have any issue whatsoever with rostering him. It's just that I like these other guys more.
Okay. Yeah, I don't disagree. Like on DraftKings, having so many different ways to get to people, he's just significantly less valuable than he is on FanDuel, in my opinion, where no matter what, you're getting 2 shooting guards.
Right.
I don't have much interest in Chris Paul on DraftKings. I don't really have much interest in anybody from the Rockets on DK outside of the dude that continues to beat me up, PJ Tucker. And that's very minimal. On FanDuel, I guess Paul is okay at 8,700. Capela is always fine at 7,700, but there's not a ton to like from Houston.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see how many minutes they've played alongside each other now. So we're at 40 minutes of Capela alongside Fareed. I think that Capela will be fine. The rebounding percentage is still there at 18.5%. The usage is down to 10%, but again, we're talking about 40 minutes. It's a really good spot for Capela. So I don't have any problems with him at all. I just think that, maybe be cautious because we don't really know exactly how his production is going to go now.
Really scary that they're running out of too big offense now. It's nuts.
And it's not like either of them can shoot.
No, not so much. Yeah, I don't know. I assume that once they get to the playoffs that they won't be playing alongside of each other, but who knows?
Yeah, I would assume not. The fact that they started this against Golden State was really weird to me.
Yeah. I would just expect that Fareed is the straight backup to Capela, and Tucker plays almost every minute at power forward once the games matter.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, so what are you doing with Capela, in the meantime?
I have him at 32.
Okay. I had him at 33, so same thing.
Yeah. And then 26 to Fareed.
Yeah, 27.
Do you have Shump in?
I do.
So do I.
For 14 minutes.
Yeah, I gave him 18, but it's not. No, yeah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, the only guys that are looking at DraftKings pricing, the only guys right now that are coming across as appealing to me are Harden and Capela.
I would agree. Guys, we've got that YouTube chat saying Fareed can shoot threes.
I know he
against Golden State.
He physically can.
He shoots less than one attempt a game. He's shooting 39% this season. How many has he taken? He's taken 18 threes this year. So everybody talking about Fareed shooting threes can just shut up.
Giannis can shoot threes too.
Yeah,
they just don't go
in.
He's
taken 18 and 557 minutes of playing time. So maybe one a day. We're good. Not shooting threes. Oh, we got another update to ownership. Let me grab that quick. Noted gunner, Kenneth Fareed. Oh, God. I'm sure they'll be scrambling to get out on him for every one of those he jacks up.
He's going to make 6 of them tonight.
Yeah. I mean, at this point in time, whatever we shit on turns to gold.
I mean, Henry Ellenson was the test case last night, so.
Yeah. This is the Satoransky rule, I think we'll call it. We're getting to the point where it's becoming a thing for real.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, it's not fun to deal with whatsoever. All right, let's get out of this game. Monty Good says, you'll eat your words when he goes 5 for 8 from 3 tonight. We won't. We'll just make the same joke about a different player on Friday, and it'll just happen over and over and over again. It's like a bit now. It's like a segment. Oh, who do we think is going to suck today that's immediately going to go out and smash?
Yeah, I mean, I still don't really have interest in Fareed and DFS, but if you can find a Vegas prop on his over-under 3 points made tonight, I would take the over.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that's on Thrive tonight. Alrighty. Atlanta Hawks hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves. 115.5 implied total for the Hawks. 119.5 for the Timberwolves. Start on the Atlanta side. Yeah. So Trae Young's pretty popular on FanDuel, 8,400. He's 8,300 on DK. Obviously a little less popular. He's playing a lot better. He's looked a lot better. I don't really need to pay $8,400 for Trae Young today.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at too. Whatever of him I get, I'm fine with. He's playing really well. The minutes are there. I'm not concerned about this matchup. Although if Tyus Jones starts, that is a downgrade for Young. If whatever I get, I'm fine with. But I would be surprised if he's a priority for me. I'd be surprised if I get more of him than Kemba.
Exactly. Yeah, I would much rather spend $400 more on Kemba Walker than Trae Young on FanDuel.
Actually, that's said on DraftKings. I have them projected almost identical.
Interesting. John Collins is John Collins. Nobody's standing out from Atlanta. I'd love to know how many minutes you have for Bazemore and Kevin Huerter.
26 apiece.
Okay. I have 28 to Huerter and 22 to Bazemore, and I didn't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But I don't really know why they would now just be playing Bazemore like 30 minutes a game like they did for the past 3. Like now that everybody's back, I assume Huerter slowly goes back to his normal minutes, but
yeah, I'm not sure because I don't know if they were kind of limiting Bazemore still just because of the injury before, and now he's free, or if they just would rather not play him more than 22 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he played until Huerter went out on the 22nd. He was not playing more than 20 minutes. So I don't know if this is just a function of Prince being out one game and Huerter being out all those other 2, which I assume is the case. Either way, like even if I give Bazemore 26 minutes, I don't want him.
Right. Yeah. Like I'm not really concerned. I'm not putting much effort into it. Yeah. Because I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk Minnesota. I don't think you have anything from Atlanta, right?
No, not outside of Young.
Yeah. They're just sort of where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think Teague plays?
I have him out right now.
Okay, I have him in, so everybody can get both perspectives. 11-2 for Karl-Anthony Towns on FanDuel, 10-6 on DK, 49 on Yahoo. Minnesota has the 3rd highest implied total on the slate. They have the 2nd best defensive matchup behind the Pelicans since the Lakers are so bad on D. This could not look much better for anybody on Minnesota. I love Towns. I'll be playing a ton of Towns, whether Teague is in or not. I don't get the sense that you'll have a different opinion either.
No. Obviously, I like Towns more if Teague is out. Yep. You see a boost in his assist percentage, but still a really good spot for him. 10-6 on DraftKings. Really inexpensive. Again, the only thing that makes me think, he's not like my highest owned star is that he's $400 less than Giannis.
Okay.
But still love Towns.
Yeah, it's really hard to say anything else there. Pace up, monster total. Like every box for Towns today is being checked in a positive direction.
Yeah, I mean, since the Jimmy Butler trade, he's played 779 minutes without Teague. He's averaged 1.56 DraftKings points per minute. I don't have the number in front of me, but going from memory, I think it's like 1.48 if you put Teague on, maybe a little bit lower. So it's still a really good play if Teague is in. If he's out, though, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you have any interest in Wiggins? He's getting some ownership on both sites. He's getting recommended in my model, which I don't like ever, but I don't know what else to do.
I mean, I have interest, sure. It's Andrew Wiggins. We know he's scoring dependent, but it is a matchup against the Hawks where he should be able to score. I wouldn't say he's any sort of priority for me. I think that I like Buddy Hield more, for example, at a similar price point. Yeah, I'm fine with whatever Wiggins I get. Towns and Tyus would be the priorities for me, though.
Okay. As I said, I have Teague in, and I don't know. If he plays, is 30 minutes outlandish?
No.
Okay. He grades out really well to me.
If he plays, he's a good play.
Okay. Making sure I'm on the same page there. Like 5,600 on DraftKings, I have him as just as good of a play as Karl-Anthony Towns.
I would have to adjust Towns back for Teague being in. I think that it would come out close for me too, though.
Okay, just making sure. On FanDuel, he's still fine, but it's a much better price tag on DK. So if Teague is in, I would recommend Teague. Towns for sure, one way or the other. I don't have a recommendation for this team if Teague is in otherwise, but let's talk about it if they're not. Who are you liking if Jeff Teague sits?
Tyus Jones at 4,500.
Yep.
He got in foul trouble last game. Still got reasonable minutes, but I think would have gotten even more had he not been in foul trouble. So, obviously the price tag jumped pretty quickly on him as it should. He's one of those guys, like, it's annoying that he ever gets down to 3,500 because you're either not playing him or he's the best play on the slate. But so, I mean, he played 31 minutes. He had 5 fouls. I think that you can project him for more than that if Teague is out. He's averaged 0.74 fantasy points per minute alongside Towns since the Butler trade. So at that price point in this matchup, it's just a pretty easy value play.
I agree. Yeah, Jones will look fantastic at that price tag just because of the minutes. That's probably it for me for Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean the Derrick Rose minutes are just not really existent, which it's still
just not healthy.
Or Saunders just is smarter than Thibodeau.
That's true.
I mean, he played 33 minutes against the Kings. Like, wait, no. Popcorn machine's lying. Unless they played 6 players at once.
I got it. Hold on. For Rose, 25, 23, 23, 23, 25 in his last 5.
25. I thought like from memory he'd played 25, and then I pulled up Popcorn Machine and it says 33. But
in case anybody's curious, by the way, Derrick Rose shooting 38% from 3 now. Surprised. I'm surprised that the 45% didn't hold up forever. I'm surprised he's not now suddenly a good shooting 3-point shooter.
Right.
Couldn't have seen that one coming.
Yeah, so I mean, if Teague is out in tournaments like Rose's, if you're playing a ton of lineups at 5,500, he has upside because it's such a good matchup. But I just can't confidently give him more than 25 or 26 minutes.
Yeah. Burping coffee.
He's averaged 1.1 points per minute without Teague since the Butler trade. That's good, but if he's only going to get 25 or 26 minutes, it's not great.
Yeah, there are no signs that Derrick Rose is capable of soaking up at like 30-something minutes today if he needs.
Yeah, I mean, since Saunders took over, he played 38 minutes in one game, but other than that, he's just been stuck in this mid to high 20-minute range.
Which is where he should be.
Yeah. Bayless picked up minutes last game, which we expected, but it would be a whole different story if it had been like, oh, Bayless didn't play, like Rose is free. That hasn't been the case. There's no reason to think that changes.
Totally agree. Moving on.
Yeah.
This one should be fun. The Boston Celtics, fresh off an embarrassing defeat to the Toronto Raptors, hosting the Portland Trailblazers, 2.5-point favorites. They're 113.75 implied total for the Celts, 111.25 for the Blazers. Very solid defensive matchup. The Blazers have been a better defensive team from a fantasy perspective over the last 15 compared to the Celtics. It's always interesting to see. Guess Cantor should really help that out moving forward. Little bit of chalk on Al Horford at 6,300, which he continues to be underpriced on DraftKings. Do you have any interest in anything from Boston? FanDuel, DK, whatever.
I like Kyrie again. Assuming he plays 35, 36 minutes, assuming this game stays competitive, I think the price tag on him is pretty reasonable. The kind of upside he gets. I actually have him grading out a little bit better than Kemba and Trey on DraftKings.
Would you rather have Dame Lillard or Kyrie?
Kyrie. Yeah, Kyrie.
I think it's pretty close. Neither one of them getting any real ownership. I think that I would probably prefer Kemba of the 3. I don't see anything else that I would like. Marcus Morris for 5K on FanDuel, sure. It's not a problem if you get to Jayson Tatum, but there's no one here that's going to be in the large majority of my lineups.
Yeah, and I think that on DraftKings, like you said, Horford's fine too. Power forward eligibility.
Yeah.
Cheap price tag, but Kyrie's my favorite Boston play.
Okay. I don't think that I have a favorite Boston play. I don't think that there's anybody on Boston that I would have in more than 10% of my lineups.
This might be the first time I've ever been higher on Kyrie than like you and the field.
Yeah, he's just there for me. If I played a 20 max, I guess I would have him in 1. maybe
I'm
2.
already trying to figure out how I can adjust Kyrie to not get as much as I think I'm going to end up getting.
How much? What do you have him projected for?
If I give him 35 minutes, I have him at 48 DraftKings points.
Okay, so I have him at 36 minutes and 45 DraftKings points.
Yeah. If I give him 36, I get almost 50.
God, that's a very healthy rate.
I mean, he's been like a 1.35 to 1.4 fantasy point per minute guy.
122 over the last 30 days on Yahoo. I don't know why I said Yahoo. FanDuel.
Yeah, 1.3 on DraftKings since the start of January.
Yeah, I'm gonna safely just get away from him, so I assume he smashes now.
All right, there. All right, now I have. If I give him 36 minutes, I get 48 points.
Okay, you're crazy. I mean, clearly, like in a tournament, it's fine. Yeah, he's not going to be. There's too many dudes for me, and he just doesn't appear to be breaking free. And I'm not really sure what I would have to do to get to him a lot.
Yeah,
like I already have him essentially where he's been playing. I've given him every minute that I can give him. So sometimes you just walk away. And Boston is. If you believe in narratives, they are a tad grumpy.
Yeah.
Portland.
So, I mean, that obviously goes both ways, though. Like, Kyrie, you could also make the narrative that Kyrie just goes out there and goes nuts today.
For sure.
Which is why I think narratives are stupid.
Oh, yeah. It's not as if I believe in that at all.
Yeah, I know.
For all the hand-wringing, for all the hand-wringing about what's going on in Boston, they are tied with Indiana and essentially tied with Toronto in point differential for the season. Like, they're you can make a case they're the third best team in the league. I don't agree.
Doesn't matter anyway. They're not getting $5.
I don't agree with it, but like for everything that everybody thinks like sky is falling, they've just sort of underperformed their record, and their point differential is fantastic.
Yeah,
just it's not visibly going the way that you would want it to go.
Does Boston's implied total seem like really high to you?
113.75.
I saw it at 115, but either way, yeah.
I mean, if it's 115 a little bit, at 113, it's got like a yellow hue on my list, so basically just middle of the pack. Much like Boston, I don't really give a shit about Portland. No one on here is super relevant to me. No one on either FanDuel or DK is projected for more than 5% ownership. Do you want any part of Portland?
Not as high on them as I am on Boston. Not that I'm super high on Boston, but I just have even less from Portland. I have Lillard behind Kyrie, behind Kemba, behind Trey. If I get to some $7,500 Nurkic, then fine. But I have Capela ahead of him in that price range. CJ McCollum at 6,300 still clearly gives you upside, but you have Kemba at 62, or God, not Kemba. You have Wiggins at 62 against Atlanta. You have Hield at 64 on DraftKings against Milwaukee. So I don't really think I'm getting too much here.
I mean, if you play CJ McCollum, what can you possibly win if he is in your lineup?
I don't know. It never goes well for anybody.
No, you definitely won't break 400.
Yeah.
Head to a live final this weekend.
No live final seats with CJ McCollum.
Nope. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about Portland. I do have this to say. Hit that like button, everybody. Super helpful for us. The Brooklyn Nets hosting the Washington Wizards. 120.75 implied total for the Nets. 115.75 implied total for the Wizards. If you want to listen to an interesting podcast, Joe Harris was on the Zach Lowe podcast yesterday. Good listen. A little bit of an avid cook, likes to bake. Spoiler alert. I'm not going to pay pay $9,100 for D'Angelo Russell on FanDuel, but I kind of like it. It just feels like one of those things that I will manually adjust on my own. But pace up spot, decent defensive matchup. I like it for Brooklyn. There's a lot here. What do you want to do with Russell?
I love this game. So on one hand, I'm kind of scared on Russell because if you look at his season-long numbers with LeVert, it's like 1.2 fantasy points per minute, which obviously is fine, but it's not as good. But on the other hand, we haven't seen him really take a hit since LeVert's been back, and he's playing more minutes now. We've seen the last couple of games 35, 36 minutes. Brooklyn, obviously, trying to make the playoffs here, and it would make sense for Russell to pick up a couple of more minutes, more consistently. I always get scared giving him a lot of minutes because of Atkinson, but they've certainly been there lately, and so if you project Russell for 35 or 36 minutes like you would all the other guys in his price range, he comes out as, to me, just way better than Kemba, way better than Kyrie, way better than everyone we talked about.
Yeah, my level of trust in him is low. He grades out really well when you just have a minutes number and a projection, but I am very not confident in the way this shakes out with everybody here and healthy.
Yeah. But so even if I project him for 34 minutes, I get him as the top play out of the guys we've talked about so far.
If I put him at 34 minutes right now, that's exactly what would happen. I'm at 32. Yeah.
So he's played 106 minutes since LeVert came back, or alongside LeVert since LeVert came back. 35.8% usage, 42.1% assist percentage. And while obviously that's only 106 minutes and LeVert is working his way back, the thing that I think makes me most optimistic about Russell is that LeVert, since coming back, has almost a 26% usage rate and almost a 28% assist percentage. So it's not like you're looking at LeVert's rates and saying oh, well, he's clearly going to shoot more, or he's clearly going to pick up more assists, because he's already getting his, and Russell's just still doing everything.
I hate getting Russell wrong. He's a guy I feel like I don't get correct enough. He grades out well. I'll have more than I probably want. He's more owned on DK than he is on FanDuel. 22% on DraftKings.
What do you say with FanDuel?
18 on FanDuel. He's 9,100 on FanDuel. 18% ownership. He's 87 on DK. 22% ownership.
God, I'm gonna have so much of this game.
Yeah. Let's keep going there. I'm just gonna list off a bunch of dudes. Karis LeVert, for sure. Jared Allen, I have interest in. Joe Harris on DraftKings, for sure. Ed Davis on DK. Yeah. Damari Carroll on DK. Sure. Alan Crabb on DK. Sure.
Yeah. There's 7 guys on this team that I think are good plays.
I completely agree.
And I hate saying shit like that because it's not in a vacuum. It's not really useful for people.
No.
If you're single entering or something like that, Russell, LeVert, Allen are the ones that stand out. But from an MME standpoint, the first thing I thought last night looking through the slate, and it holds true now that I'm looking at my projections, is just rotating these cheap guys in. Obviously they can disappoint and they're not all likely to go off, but Washington, good defensive team. They're not a good rebounding team, and they really struggle all season long to defend the 3-point line. So that sets up really well for cheap guys like Joe Harris, Alan Crabb, Damari Carroll. And then obviously for the centers, if Allen gets 28 minutes, he should crush. If he doesn't, Ed Davis is getting those minutes and he should crush. So, outside of building around Russell and LeVert, you can just mix and match these Nets guys, and it would be really surprising if a couple of these cheap guys don't come through.
Yeah, I just assume that I'll have a net or two in basically everything that I'm doing. I don't really have a giant preference of anybody specifically.
Right.
Yeah. And it's just going to come naturally. Pace up spot, second highest implied total of the entire slate. It's really hard to avoid having quite a bit of net. Can we pour one out for Rondae Hollis-Jefferson? He is not the guy that I expected to get the bagels.
Yeah, I did not either.
But I guess, they're just assuming that he's not on the team next year.
And he hasn't been good this year.
No, not at all. But they have the ability to not have him next year. I believe he's restricted. So, yeah, goodbye. Anytime that you can put Travion Graham on the floor for more minutes, you got to do that.
Yeah, but like we say that, but we can't pretend the Nets haven't been shockingly good.
Yeah, huge fan of everything that they're doing. I have no problem with them sitting out, or Rondae Hollis-Jefferson getting DNPs now. None whatsoever. I just didn't expect it to happen.
Yeah, no, me neither.
All right, let's go to your boys. Wizards, nice pace spot again. Bradley Beal, 99 on FanDuel, 89 on DK, 42 on Yahoo. I will continue to be playing more Bradley Beal than the public. But he just plays so much and is a part of everything. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I hate projecting guys for more than like 38 minutes, but 38 minutes kind of feels like the low end on Beal, assuming this game stays, is competitive. He's played at least 40 minutes in 4 straight games, not including the All-Star game. So I have him at 40 minutes.
Oh, I have him at 38, but either way.
Oh, by the way, because you appreciate how bad Ernie Grunfeld is.
I do.
Did you see the Ted Leonsis interview about Ernie Grunfeld that was tweeted out yesterday?
I did not.
So, I mean, I only saw a clip of it, but he's, for whatever reason, always kept Grunfeld around. And so in this interview, they asked him about Grunfeld, and Leonsis says something like, every year we have a list of goals, and at the end of the year you go back and you evaluate and see how you did. He was like, I actually sent Ernie an email the other day, and I said, we can still reach the first goal on our list. We have 26 or whatever games left, and if we win all of them, we'll get to our 50 win goal.
Did he send that message unironically?
I don't know.
That's the type of shit, like, if I were playing in a video game, that's the type of shit that I would say to my fake team. Like, if you win out, we'll hit our goal 26 straight.
Yeah. I love just even like in the interview, like the fact he included like our first goal. Like, we haven't accomplished any of our goals, but we can still hit this one if we win every single game.
I want to know what the response was to whoever asked that question. Like, did they ask a follow-up of like,
right? Yeah, I'm not sure. That was kind of the
fucking around.
Right. Like, I just really hope that interview or that email actually exists. Like, Ernie Grunfeld checks his email, and there's an email from his boss that says, "Hey, don't worry, you're not fucking up so much. You still could potentially hit a goal."
Morning, Ernie. Just in case you're down about this season, just know that if you go on a 26-game win streak here, we will hit our first goal. So, I hope that's like watching a sunrise for you, buddy. Right. We can get there. All we need is a legendary win streak that's happened once, I think. Right.
And it was done by like the Steph Curry Warriors, I assume.
I thought it was. Isn't it the Heat now, or is it the Warriors? Is it the Warriors from like 2 years ago? Did they do more than the Heat?
I know they went on a ridiculous win streak.
One of those, I think the Heat won 26 straight. I know the Rockets back in the day put together a real monster one, and that was, I want to say, without Yao and T-Mac, or at least without Yao from all of it and without T-Mac for part of it.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that, yeah.
That's a way back one. Oh my God. It might be the Warriors.
Yeah, that interview gave me some optimism as a Wizards fan that maybe he'll actually be gone.
Yeah, that would not give me optimism. I would probably go a different direction. I would wonder how in the world someone can send that email and have succeeded so much in life that they own a basketball team.
Yeah.
Okay. So we obviously both agree on Bradley Beal. I think that we are both in the camp of we will take any part of Trevor Ariza that we get.
Sure.
Okay. Jabari Parker is $5,400 on FanDuel, $5,400 on DraftKings, and $16 on Yahoo. Am I crazy, or is he a really good play here?
I think really good might be pushing it
on FanDuel. Sorry.
Oh yeah. No, that's a good play because obviously the price tag's more appealing and the options are more limited.
Okay. And then a solid play on DK.
If he gets minutes.
I have him in for 27. Am I crazy?
I have him at 26.
Perfect. Bobby Portis, $7K on FanDuel, $6,300 on DK. I've got him in for 28 minutes. He's the guy I don't totally need if he gets any ownership. I also would be really nervous about it.
So Portis is the one that I actually love here.
Okay.
assuming that he remains in the starting lineup.
Okay.
He had been getting, 30 or more minutes. And then they put him into the starting lineup last game against Indiana, where he proceeded to immediately get in foul trouble, play a total of 16 or 17 minutes. Thomas Bryant played the last 20 or 20 minutes of the game and got the 30. I assume that if Bobby Portis starts, he gets 30 to 32 minutes here.
Yeah.
And it's a really good Bobby Portis spot. So, assuming people are kind of just scared off because it's a big slate and because, the Wizards' rotation is inconsistent and Bobby Portis just played 16 minutes. I love Portis.
Yeah, if I got to 30 minutes, I would certainly be singing a different tune. I don't really know how to shake out Green, Bryant, Portis, and Parker. And I don't want to say that it feels nicky because it's not going to be some other dude. But if you told me that Thomas Bryant played 28 minutes today, I'd be like, okay, he played every minute alongside Jared Allen or something.
Yeah, it's not nicky in that it's nicky in that you can't confidently assign minutes to the front court here because a lot of it is just going to be game flow dependent because they have a lot of interchangeable pieces and they have a lot of guys who actually are or can be productive offensive players that do very similar things. Yeah. So, we saw one game recently where when Portis was coming off the bench, he played the last, I don't remember, game because he was just making every 3-pointer that he took. And it took minutes away from, I think it was like Jabari or somebody. We've seen other games like the last one, fouls, but he easily could have come back in that game. But Thomas Bryant was playing great in the fourth quarter, so he played the whole quarter. So yeah, there's absolutely risk on all of these guys.
Okay.
And Portis also, if I give him 30 minutes, isn't popping as much as I thought he would. I still have him as a good play. It's just not as high as I expected.
How many minutes do you have for Jeff Green?
30.
And Bryant?
18.
Okay. So I have Bryant at 18 and Green at 29. So we're basically in the same spot. Yeah, if Portis gets if we get the announcement that Portis is starting, I would move Portis to 30, 31, 32, somewhere in that neighborhood, at which point I will be getting quite a bit more of Portis.
Yeah, I have him at 30 right now, and I get him at 34 DraftKings points, which in the context of an 11-game slate means that I probably don't get as much as I was thinking I was going to.
Okay.
But it's still my second favorite Wizard behind Beal.
Yeah, I just want to have a lot of this game.
Yeah, but more so the Brooklyn side for me.
I prefer more dudes from the Brooklyn side, but I will want. It's not all that different. Like 6 guys from this game, I guess, in some sort of way. It's
just the pricing on the Wizards is different.
True.
The Wizards are kind of priced. We talked about obviously the risk in that front court rotation, and this is at least for me looking at DraftKings pricing. Whereas on the Nets, everyone is at a price point where it's like, okay, there's no way that 1 or 2 of these guys don't come through because all the all the interchangeable guys on the Nets are like $4,500 or less.
Yep.
All the interchangeable guys on the Wizards are like $5,500 to $6,500.
That's a good point.
They have to get the minutes and then actually play well.
That's a good
Whereas
point.
the Nets, they're going to just run into points.
And I'll play some Satoransky again. 62 on FanDuel. I don't love, but I'll be better. I'll be higher than the field on Satoransky.
Yeah, and Brooklyn not a. Yeah. Brooklyn's not a team where I expect the Wizards to be running their, big lineup out there with Bryant and Portis and Green, Ariza at the 2, Beal at the 1 all that often.
No, that would surprise me. Yeah, get a part of this game, everybody. There's some tasty stuff. The Miami Heat hosting the Golden State Warriors. This one's going to be awful. 107.25 implied total for the Heat. 116.25 for the Warriors. Pace up spot for Miami. Everybody could be back. These guys are questionable. Derrick Jones and James Johnson, or Winslow and James Johnson are questionable, I guess. I think Derrick Jones is just back.
Winslow's probable, right?
Is he?
I think. I thought I saw that yesterday, but I could be wrong.
Let's take a look. Winslow probable, James Johnson questionable, Magruder questionable, Derrick Jones in.
Yeah. Do you have a single player from this team?
I'm happy you bring that up. Absolutely not. The highest guy in expected ownership on the Heat is at 3% on either FanDuel or DK. No one above 3. So it's pretty easy to just ignore it. I don't disagree with that at all. I hope that I don't even see anybody's name pop up. Unless James Johnson and Rodney Magruder and someone else all get ruled out, I can't be here.
Yeah. The only guy that I think I probably get Wade.
Ooh, okay. I was going to say Waiters at 49.
I've been getting more. I've just been really high on Wade lately.
I mean, I have them relatively comparable. I didn't realize they were only separated by $200. I guess I was looking in the wrong column. I don't want anybody.
Yeah. I mean, like Wade grades out as a positive play for me. No one else really does. I mean, Whiteside at 6,900 obviously can break a slate, but it's a big enough slate that I don't think I really get there.
Warriors: Durant, Curry, Cousins, Green, Klay Thompson. Still not getting away from Draymond Green. He's 5,900 on DraftKings. I don't know what else to do now. He's still playing at a 1 fantasy point per minute pace over the last 30 days. Even if he's bad, I cannot not play Draymond Green.
Yeah, and the price tag going down is pretty absurd. We've talked before about his usage isn't there, but that doesn't matter because he's not good at scoring anyway. And especially this year, he's really bad at it. So him taking less shots doesn't matter because they're not going in anyway. But his assist percentage has gone up. It's up to like between 30 and 33%. He's still producing, like you said. He's still playing minutes. It's not a good matchup, but I mean, he was 0.8% owned on Monday in obviously a better spot. But
yeah.
I don't have a problem with Draymond Green.
Okay, good. Josh acting like the Heat didn't just almost win the last game at Golden State and get ripped off by the refs. I don't give a shit how this game plays out.
Yeah, I expect this to be a competitive game if that's what anyone's questioning. That has nothing to do with why I don't like the Heat.
Yeah, I don't know. The Heat probably win this game, 35% of the time or something? I don't know. Who cares? I don't like them because I have no idea who's going to play all of the minutes, and no one seems to be priced at a place where I like.
Right, we have an 11-game slate where there are teams playing against the Hawks and playing against the Kings and playing against the Nets and the Wizards, and they have cheap guys on those teams. But yeah, sure, let's talk about the 12 guys there because they might win the game.
Yeah, they're in a pack of 7 teams that have like the lowest implied totals on the slate. It's an absolute mess in Miami.
Yeah,
whether they win or lose in Golden State is irrelevant to me. Craziness. Okay, so I got my Draymond push out of the way. How would you like to rank Durant, Curry, Cousins, and Klay? We'll start on DK, where it's kind of tight for me.
Wow, Cousins finally got above 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. I'm just trying to update all my stuff because my baselines for the Warriors are always lower than I want.
All right. I like Cousins. You can flip a coin on Durant and Curry. Klay, as per usual, is last for me, but he doesn't count. Just put him in a certain amount of lineups.
Yeah, so I have... Sorry. Yeah. I have Draymond looking at DraftKings pricing. I have Draymond number 1, Klay number 2, Curry number 3, Durant, and then Cousins.
Okay. FanDuel, it's Durant, Curry, Cousins, Klay for me, with Draymond just being number 1 with a bullet on both.
Yep.
Oh boy. It's really not fun to talk about the Warriors from a fantasy perspective. Like, nothing changes. It's the same sort of conversation every day. You don't look at anybody else outside of their top 5. You're never like, oh, today's the Andre Iguodala day.
Right. and it's not even fun because like there's no way to actually say, oh, this is the guy in this matchup that you want, because it's a matter of whose shots are going in. But it's just so boring to analyze.
Yeah. I got nothing else to say here.
No, I mean whatever Golden State. I'll get to more Golden State than I will Miami. But I would be surprised if anyone from Golden State is one of my higher owned guys.
Draymond for me would be the only one. And I won't need to get too crazy since no one else seems to like him except for you and I.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Buckle up. The Memphis Grizzlies are hosting the Chicago Bulls. 108 implied total for the Grizzlies, 105 for the Bulls. That is just embarrassing. These are two of the 7 lowest implied totals on the slate. This game is slow. Oddly enough, both teams better than average defensively over the last 15 games. Grizzlies, a bit of a different look in those last 15. They've had some, they had a guy named Marc Gasol on the team for a while. Changes the equation a bit, but need to talk about it anyway. 17% expected ownership going to Conley right now on FanDuel, 19% going to Justin Holiday, 21% going to DeLon Wright on DK at 4,100. We have injury news in Memphis. Clearly still no Jaren Jackson, going to be out probably the rest of the year. Where's Memphis hiding? No Kyle Anderson. Ivan Robb is doubtful. CJ Miles is questionable. I have him in right now. That can go a different direction. What do you like? Do you like anything from Memphis? We'll start there.
Yeah, I like Mike Conley.
Yes.
I like Jonas Valanciunas. And I like DeLon Wright. I kind of like Joakim Noah.
Okay. How many minutes do you have Noah playing?
24.
Okay, I have him in at 22. If I got him to 24, I would be probably a little bit ahead of the field.
So it's the frustrating thing here is it doesn't matter. Memphis can do whatever the hell they want. They're not trying to win games. They closed
beating the Lakers.
Yeah, they closed with Valanciunas and Noah, the Cavs against.
What year is this?
Yeah, I know. Against Zizic and Nance, they closed with those two. Obviously, that's not something that we were anticipating against a smaller Lakers team. Now you kind of get with the Bulls, you get like it's in the middle because you have a big front court with Lopez and Markkanen, but Markkanen obviously is going to, pull whoever is defending him out to the 3-point line, whereas
he will destroy
right.
Joakim Noah if he's guarding him on the perimeter.
Right. So, like, Memphis can absolutely try it because why not? And if that happens, then I would like Noah more, obviously. If it doesn't, then it just gets messy because if you're still only splitting the 48 minutes between Valanciunas and Noah, then you're just getting a ton of really useless players eating up minutes, like Myles and Parsons and Bruno and Washburn or whatever.
You mentioned DeLon Wright. He's at 21% expected ownership on DK. I would rather play Avery Bradley.
Yeah.
And it's not close. Obviously, I think DeLon Wright is better than him. I don't think that the relationship and ownership should be 21-3 on an 11 gamer. So,
yeah, I agree.
I understand why Justin Holiday is going to get ownership on FanDuel. He's 3,700. It's not like he's a good play. He's just what you're looking for in a low salary guy that should get minutes because of injuries. I don't like anything on the Grizzlies.
You don't like Valanciunas?
Not really. I don't have
How many minutes do you have?
28.
Oh, yeah, so do I.
If I get Jonas Valanciunas, I'm fine. He will not be in any sort of volume. I assume that I have him maybe 1 out of every 20.
Yeah, I have him at 41 DraftKings points right now.
Yeah, I'm at 37. So there's some wiggle room. If you're on the Jonas train, get there. If you want to play anybody in this game, though, it's Jonas Valanciunas on Yahoo, where he is $22.
Yeah, that's a nice price.
Don't be afraid to smash the shit out of that one. Otherwise, like I don't have anybody that grades out well. Conley on FanDuel for 78 looks good. I would probably play more Avery Bradley on DraftKings than any other Grizzly.
Conley grades out really well for me on DraftKings.
How many minutes do you have him playing?
32.
So do I. What? Man, we are really different now. What do you have him projected for? 40?
43.
No. All right, I got him at 36 and a half. Okay.
43 seems high to me.
It seems very high to me. Yeah. I'm not going to be on much of Memphis.
Conley's
I'm not upset about that at all.
Conley's at 1.2 points per minute since the trade. I don't like love the spot against Chicago or anything, but yeah, I have him high.
Okay. I think you're high.
I'm with you on Bradley, even alongside Conley since coming over, almost a 20% usage rate for him. You know, he's only averaged 0.65 points per minute, but he's shot really poorly. He's certainly like he doesn't have a lower ceiling than DeLon Wright.
No. And like, look, you're playing Avery Bradley to be different. This is you talked about this in Slack for the premium members with regards to how you got to, or like how that lineup ended up with CJ McCollum. It was just a natural pivot of ownership in one spot. So if you're relatively chalky across the board and DeLon Wright is in your lineup, you're playing in a GPP, like a single entry, just switch DeLon Wright to Avery Bradley. Yep. That's what we're talking about in these spots. You don't have to have, 5 guys that are 3% owned, but if you switch just from DeLon Wright to Avery Bradley, 21% ownership to 3, has a massive change to your lineup with very little risk. I have them projected with the exact same projection right now. Like he doesn't outscore him 7 times out of 8.
Right. And people say that it's tough to, get single entry advice from, MME players, and I can see that. But if I were, and I don't, single enter stuff anymore, but that's how I started out. And the like most simple way to sum up like my process when I was doing that was I would make the best possible lineup that I thought I could, without factoring in ownership or anything. And then I would find either what I thought was the weakest chalk play, or even if it was a good chalk play, just the guy that had a bunch of alternatives around him in price, and just switch one of those guys, and you have a good lineup that is also contrarian.
Bingo.
And that's what we're talking about with Wright versus Bradley.
Bingo. Love it. You dusting off Chandler Parsons in this one?
No.
Okay. Go to
I don't want to talk about it because he'll score 40.
You don't want to talk about who?
I said, but I don't want to actually talk about it because then he'll score 40.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Go to the Bulls. Once again, like I don't have much interest in these guys. I wish that I did. I will not have much of anything here. Maybe a little bit of Otto Porter. Do you think Chris Dunn plays?
Right now I have Dunn in and Porter out, but I think Dunn missed practice yesterday.
I have them both in. They're both listed as questionable right now. We just need to get the news. But right now I have them both in, and if that's the case, I have very little interest in the Bulls. If Dunn is out, you can probably play Archie a little bit.
Yeah, my interest, and it's independent of who is in or out, is in Markkanen. I just love Lauri Markkanen.
He's just not a guy I've been getting a ton of, and I have him way less than his last 30 rates. So maybe I'll take a look there.
I mean, I have him for 37 minutes and like 48 DraftKings points, which puts him in a range where if he's projected to be super highly owned again, like last slate, I loved him and I came in at like half the field because he was 45% owned and I only played 25% or whatever. So, I mean, if that's the case again, then yeah, I'm going to be underweight on Markkanen. But with his price going up and with it being an unappealing spot, I assume that his ownership comes down, and he's just been so productive. Rebounds are up, obviously. He's played 445 minutes without Parker or Portis since the middle of January, 18.9% rebounding percentage, 26% usage rate. He's just been really good.
There we go. Seems like Josh wants to copy Adam's minutes projections every show. Yeah. Going through all of this shit is a lot of work. We both do it, and bouncing stuff off of each other is monstrous. Setting up minutes is the underrated chore of DFS, and most people aren't doing it.
That's what I spend literally my entire day doing.
Yep. Yeah. It's and it's without question the most important piece of it all.
Yep.
Estimating the talent level is way easier than estimating the minutes.
Yep. Speaking of which, how many minutes do you have Robin Lopez at?
27.
32.
Okay. Well, I assume you like him at 32.
Marginally.
Oh, God. Well, good. Then I don't have to feel too bad about not getting up much higher than that. I should probably get a little higher. Let's take a look at his recent game logs. Yeah, 27's probably a minute or two low. I don't know who to take them from. There's so much talent there.
Yeah.
Well, and to be fair, I am assuming that I have Dunn and Porter in, so not that like that. I mean, Porter at the 4 type minutes are what matters, especially if they keep giving Felicio like a run and a half.
Yeah, that's weird to me. I assumed once they got Porter that Markkanen was just the backup center.
Yeah, evidently that is not the case. Spend a day projecting minutes that end up being mostly off. Great use of time. That's how you're taking. If that's what you're taking out of what we just said.
I mean, it pays me well, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't change a single thing of it. You know what I'm not doing? Digging ditches. Thank God, because I'd quit in a day because I'm super soft. San Antonio Spurs hosting the Detroit Pistons. 111.75 implied total for the Spurs. 107.25 for the Pistons. God, Spurs defense is so bad.
Yes, it is.
Here's another team where like I don't have much interest in either of the two guys on DK. I think DeMar and LaMarcus Aldridge are both fine on FanDuel. I'm just not enthusiastic about getting anybody from the Spurs.
Yeah, same boat here. I mean, Aldridge, I think is fine at 7,900. It's just that it's an 11-game slate and there are a ton of spots to go to, and this is a much less appealing spot than like the game against Brooklyn. Like I loved him there. I loved that I was able to get him at 12% owned compared to Markkanen's 45. It didn't really work out. They both scored almost 50, but it's just a less appealing spot for Aldridge here, and the price tags come up a bit.
I hate LaMarcus Aldridge. I hate the Spurs.
I mean, when you factor in price, so I mean, I guess it comes down to minutes. Like if you give Aldridge 34 minutes, I have him as a good play. If I give him 36, he's going to come out as a really good play.
I have him at 34, and he's useless to me. They're both fine. Like they're better on the whole team's better on FanDuel except for Derek White. But I cannot prioritize the San Antonio Spurs on an 11-game slate.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And then we've got the Pistons, who continue to have the exact same outlook every single day. Andre Drummond is 10-5 on FanDuel, 9K on DK, 46 on Yahoo. Blake is 89 on FanDuel, 8,700 on DK, and $40 on Yahoo. Blake on FanDuel is fantastic. He's good on DK. He's not great on Yahoo. Drummond is great on DK, fine on Yahoo, fine on FanDuel. Do you have anything you want to take out of Blake and Drummond?
No. I mean, I agree with you. Like the price tags are cheaper than they should be. It's just like Blake is just in an absolutely stacked price range on DraftKings. Like you have Markkanen there, you have Aldridge for less. All these guys grade out pretty similar to me. Drummond at 9K is obviously a good play. Playing out of his mind, and it's not like it's a terrible spot for him.
1.64 fantasy FanDuel points per minute over his last 30.
I've been at 1.47 DraftKings since January 15th.
That might be possible. I have him with the third highest FanDuel point per minute rate, tied with Russ for second, actually. Just slightly, pretty significantly behind Giannis. Unless you want to count that Udonis Haslem got 1 FanDuel point in less than a minute.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, Drummond's not actually grading out that well for me, but I feel like he should be.
Yeah, he should be. He's without question the best play in this game. He's the best play in the last game. He's the best play we've had since the Brooklyn game, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I have him behind Markkanen. I have him behind Aldridge. I don't feel
there's
good.
Absolutely no way I'm taking Lauri Markkanen before I take Andre Drummond here.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. I mean, I think you're right. I'm saying I don't think I am. I'm just not entirely sure how to fix it.
Aaron Gordon was a stud. They talked down on him so bad. I had a ton of Aaron Gordon yesterday. Don't lump theys in with this show. That's probably Laffy and Chris and Eddie.
No, it was me and Laffy saying that Aaron Gordon is Aaron Gordon and he's always Aaron Gordon.
I was just trying to make us look better.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll if I get to say that I was right, the 8 times Aaron Gordon scores like 34 fantasy points, then I'll take an L when he actually has a good game.
There you go. Do you want any other part of the Pistons? Wayne Ellington for 3,600?
I mean, I would have him behind like all those Nets guys.
Yeah, so would I. I got nothing else here.
I really need to figure out how to get more points out of Andre Drummond.
Yeah, I'm at 36 minutes and 50 fantasy points.
Yeah, I'm at 36 minutes and 46 DraftKings points.
Yeah, you're off a bit.
Yeah. It's probably just like old Spurs rates is probably what it is.
Old Spurs rates?
Like old, like the Spurs used to be good defensively. Like if you're using some kind of historical data.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was like, are you in like the LaMarcus Aldridge column or what?
Probably just not keeping up with the Spurs being like the worst team ever.
Hit that like button, everybody. Monty, good. You good. Dallas Mavs hosting the Indiana Pacers. 107 implied total for the Mavs. 108.5 for the Pacers. Man, we're really moving through this pretty good. 1.5 point favorites for Indiana in Dallas. How do you want to deal with Dwight Powell being 29% owned on DraftKings and the number one owned guy in our early ownership projections?
It cut out when you said the name. Were you talking about Luka?
Dwight Powell. 29% expected ownership on DraftKings. He's highest on slate.
I mean, I think he's fine. The fact that he's still only a center is really annoying. Not saying he shouldn't be, but just for DFS purposes. 4,300, I think it's tough for him to disappoint you.
Sure.
And I think he clearly has upside. So, yeah, I have no problems with Dwight Powell.
How many minutes do you have him playing? I assume I'm too low, and that's why I'm not getting him.
I have 30 right now. I'm trying to double check it, though.
There it is. I have 26, but yeah, it felt low to me this morning when I looked at it.
Yeah, I'm staying at 30. He played 37 minutes last game.
Yeah, they're doing some weird stuff with minutes. Have you happened to take a look at Dirk Nowitzki's minutes lately?
Yeah, he means the starter, Dirk Nowitzki?
26 and 25 in his last 2 games.
Yeah.
Why? Why? He can barely move. He's going to die if he plays 26 minutes.
There was, I'm not sure if you watched the game against the Clippers, but I caught like the second half, and there was just a spot where Luka on one of his, like 8 or 9 turnovers, tried to pass it to Dirk, like running out to the wing, and just chucked it out of bounds. And the announcers are just like, "Yeah, a few years ago that would have been a perfect pass, but Dirk's not getting there."
No. The only thing I saw from that game was Doc shouting him out.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I was sweating it pretty hard down the stretch, obviously.
Whew. Yeah, look, I'm gonna have some Powell, but I don't need him to be my most on play of the day.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, even if I give him 30 minutes, he's a phenomenal play. If he gets 36 minutes again, I would like him to be my most on play of the day.
That is a very true statement. That is a very true statement. They just got so many dudes. Maxey's playing less now. Dirk's apparently playing now. Salah Mejri went from not playing at all to getting cut and immediately re-signed and playing now.
I spent so much time rostering Dwight Powell when Rick Carlisle hated him that I feel like I'm missing out if I don't just like jam him in now.
I hear you.
So yeah, I'm gonna have a ton of Dwight Powell. Like I can be as comfortable with it as I want, but I'm going to have a lot of Dwight Powell.
Okay. I'll have a little bit of DFS as well at 3,800. But let's talk about your boy. How you managing Luka today?
Probably clicking on his name and then clicking submit. I like him a lot, obviously.
I like him an average amount. I don't love a matchup against Indiana, but he's just fine for me. And I'm way above his rates over the last 30. He's just fine today. I'll have some so I can cheer for it. You're going in a different direction? You going big?
Such a Luka. Yeah, I've met 53 DraftKings points.
How many minutes?
34.
You're out of your mind.
He's averaging 1.4 points per minute without Dennis Smith Jr. since January.
1.28 FanDuel over the last 30 days.
I'll cut him back to 33 minutes to try and like.
Look, he grades out okay for me, but that is a healthy projection.
All right, I'm at 51.5 now. That's as low as it's going.
Okay. I'd feel pretty comfortable with it. That's for sure.
471 minutes since January 1st without Dennis Smith Jr., 34.3% usage, 41.7% assist percentage, and a 14% rebounding percentage. He's kind of Nikola Jokic.
Kind of.
For $9,300.
Look, it's not that I think he's bad or a bad play or anything like that, but he's not. Like, where do you have him ranked? Number 1?
Like, overall?
Yeah.
I assume I'll have him behind, like, Giannis, probably? And Towns?
We haven't even talked about anybody in the Lakers-Pelicans game.
Yeah, I mean, I have Luka and D'Angelo Russell as being similar. And Bradley Beal as being similar.
I think I have a lot more Bradley Beal, but let me double check it. Luka.
I mean, the matchup for Luka sucks. That's the only reason that.
Like, I have Bradley Beal twice as high in my like priorities as I do Luka, but I still love Luka.
I have Beal for 50. I have Luka for 51.5.
Okay.
With a $400 price difference.
Like,
if he weren't facing Indiana, he'd probably be my favorite play on the slate. But when I account for he's actually facing a good defense, I get him being just like a top 10 play.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get there. He's at 10% ownership, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say you have more than 10%.
That would, I think.
Yeah, you froze there, but I assume you said yes.
I said yes emphatically.
Okay. I don't think we have anything else to talk about on Dallas. Indiana, no Sabonis.
Are you playing Dirk?
Should I be playing Dirk?
I mean, he's 3,200 and possibly playing 25, 26 minutes.
Yeah, I did not. I gave him 18. Do we need to have a bigger conversation about playing time here?
I mean, it seems like he's playing.
Well, it seems like he played 25 minutes in a game without Maxey or Luka, and then played 26 minutes in this most recent game, and I don't know why that he did.
Okay, so if he starts, how many minutes are you giving him? Because that's been the variable here is he's starting games.
24? Do we think that he's starting?
I don't really have a reason not to.
Okay, so let's just give him those minutes. Tom, if you're listening, I'm sorry that we're diving into the minutes of someone that sucks. The Bruno Caboclo corollary. Let me get him to 24. So I need to shave 6 minutes from somewhere. That's clearly not coming from Luka. What do you have Maxey playing?
hang on. 18.
Okay. And then I still need 2 more. What do you have Trey Burke playing? I know that sounds like a weird one to ask, but
like nothing. 6, 8, 6.
Okay, that's fine. So 12. Okay, so I've got Dirk in now for 24 minutes. Well, shit, I'm playing Dirk.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's this like is a great play. Dwight Powell, I like Dwight Powell more, obviously. It's just he's $3,100 on DraftKings, and that's pretty valuable if he's starting again.
Yeah, look, if Dirk is starting, I think that he is viable at 3,100. I would agree with you there. I didn't anticipate him continuing to start.
I mean, I think it comes down to, and there's no way to really know. Hopefully it comes out early, but was Maxey just being eased back in last game, or did Dirk tell Rick Carlisle he wants to play more minutes to close out the year? Like I don't know.
Right? Wouldn't be like if Dirk was like, just give me 24 a game, and
right,
like
he's not gonna tell him no.
No, not. It's not like they're playing for anything.
Right.
I mean, it'll make them worse to play Dirk more. He's not good.
Right.
And I mean, skill.
Like shit, if you're trying to sell tickets, like Dirk's playing a bunch of minutes with Luka now. Come watch.
Yeah, good idea. Alrighty, here we go. Indiana Pacers. No Sabonis. Does that change your outlook on Myles Turner?
Yes. Okay. It makes me. It just I think makes his minutes more solidified.
Yeah, I've got him in for 30 right now. 30 for Myles Turner, 18 for Kyle O'Quinn, or are you going 32-16?
I'm going 32-16.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of Myles Turner.
Chat was talking about thinking Leaf plays more minutes there. That's probably not happening.
I mean, more minutes
than O'Quinn.
Oh, no, I mean, I think O'Quinn's the backup center.
Yeah, the Leaf doesn't play the 5.
Yeah. I think Leaf gets more minutes than Leaf normally gets as like a trickle-down effect. Because
I gave him 8.
I have him at like 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like Sabonis does play sometime at the 4.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Leaf plays center over O'Quinn.
Nope, neither do I. So, yeah, I like Myles Turner. I like Thad Young for 6,500 on FanDuel. Darren Collison, 16% ownership on FanDuel, $6,800. 15% ownership on DK, $6,100. That's a little bit more Darren Collison than I'd like.
Yeah, Indiana's just like jumping off the page for me, and I'm really surprised because of like it's not like they have a high implied total or anything.
Leaf is not the Ellenson of tonight. He just doesn't play. Like it's just I'm not. This isn't one where I'm taking a stance. Like this one doesn't feel the same way. I don't know. Here it comes.
Stop.
Will you play any Kyle O'Quinn?
He's not at 4,400.
No, he's 3,900 on FanDuel, but I probably wouldn't play him there either. I
mean, it's okay there because of the drop too. I mean, he obviously he can score 2 fantasy points a minute. He's capable of it. I'm not getting the 44 on DraftKings. He's more expensive than Dwight Powell.
I don't want to drop O'Quinn at center.
I assumed he was a power forward for some reason.
Oh, I actually have no idea. He's a center.
I just thought okay, then yeah, never mind. Ignore that.
Wes Matthews? Anything? Bojan?
Bojan's actually, God, you got me saying it wrong.
Damn it. I'm just saying it wrong still. I need a sticky note on my monitor.
Yeah, so I mean,
I need a sticky note with Bojan on my monitor, and I need a pre-written Thrive fantasy link.
Right. I think he's okay. Nothing like slate breaking to me.
Yeah, I don't think that Wes Matthews is looking for revenge on this one. He got that paper from Dallas.
I have Turner as my top play here.
Ted Lemoyne nails it. I'd rather play Ryan Leaf.
Yeah.
You have Turner as your favorite play?
Yes.
As you should.
Yeah.
Alrighty, 3 games to go, unless you've got anything else here.
I like Collison and Thad Young. I think you already said that though.
I don't like Collison if he's mid-teens ownership. This is very similar to Monday's slate where he was getting ownership and there were like 6 other guys at that price range at guard that
I also figured out that I had Indiana popping and
were you
they're
giving them credit for being really good in the mid-90s?
I don't their rates were just like insane. Like for some reason I had Darren Collison at like 22% usage when he's played 560 minutes without Sabonis or Oladipo and he's at 17.5%.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so after adjusting everything, I actually have Thad Young slightly edging out Myles Turner.
Ooh, my boy Thad. He's gonna get paid this year.
Yeah. God, I like Turner so much though.
Do you think you're gonna play Luka on Saturday?
Shit. I don't even know who's on the slate other than the Knicks or not.
Emac just shouted it out in Slack. Luka's on the DK Championship slate live final. I wonder if Adam plays him Saturday.
Who they play against?
I can tell you. They play the Grizzlies, so you can probably avoid that one.
God, he's gonna be so low owned.
He is.
I hope he gets his like price. I hope they like dynamically price him.
I bet you do.
Like $8,200 Luka.
Yeah, I bet you do. Okay.
All right. Anyway, yeah. Myles Turner, Thad Young are the 2 for me here.
Alrighty. Hit that like button, everybody. The message. After every game, you should think, have I hit the like button yet? Oh, I haven't? I should hit it. That's just the way that this works. Just in case you were curious. How many people do we have here right now? 487. Ooh, 477. Close. The hell of a guess.
Did you just guess how many people we had and you like nailed it?
I missed it by 10. I guessed 487 and it was 477. And I hadn't looked yet. I had like refreshed my tab to see it. It's not bad. I'm proud of myself. 118.25 implied total for the Jazz. Yes. The Jazz. 108.75 for the Clippers. Jazz, fourth highest implied total of the slate. Keep forgetting about that Lakers game down at the bottom. Pace up spot for Utah. There is lots to like here. Not to mention, all of their prices are significantly better on DraftKings, so this might take a second. Rudy Gobert is 9,700 on FanDuel. Meh. 8,200 on DK. Okay. $38 on Yahoo. You like Rudy Gobert here?
Yeah, I think he's one of the top center plays on the slate on DraftKings at 8,200.
I don't disagree. Getting some ownership, 19%. I won't need to be over the field on that or anything, but give me some Rudy Gobert. Give me some Donovan Mitchell. 9K on FanDuel. Sure thing. 8,200 on DraftKings. Yeah. 32 on Yahoo. Absolutely. I assume you don't have any like Donovan Mitchell hot takes for this one.
No, Donovan Mitchell is Donovan Mitchell.
Yep. How about this one? Ricky Rubio. 7K on FanDuel. 6K on DK. 17% ownership, I might add. $21 on Yahoo. I love Rubio.
Yep. I love some Ricky Rubio here.
I love that. 33 minutes?
Yeah, I'm at 32 and still getting plenty.
Okay. Yeah. I like Rubio quite a bit here. Here's the trickiest one on the slate. 26% expected ownership on DraftKings. $4,600 price tag. What do you want to do with Derrick Favors? A guy whose name I feel like we have not said in weeks.
I mean, he grades out well. He plays 24, 25 minutes. The price tag's just so cheap. It's a good spot. I mean, I'm going to get a good amount of him, I think.
Okay. I don't want to have 26% of Derrick Favors.
He's grading out so well for me, though.
It might be a little light on his projection, but I have him in for 25 minutes, 27.5 fantasy points. I'd probably get him in like 8% of my lineups, and he's at 26.
I have him in for 24 minutes and 32 DraftKings points.
Okay, well, a little
He's at,
different there.
he's at almost 1.2 points per minute since the middle of January. 200 or basically 300 minutes played. There,
What's his price? 4,600. Who else is around him? I mean, basically half the slate. So, all right, Favors 26%. Power forward center. Would you rather play Derrick Favors at 26% or Thomas Bryant unowned?
Derrick Favors.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a spot where like I might be over the field on Thomas Bryant. I don't even know if I will be, but like
I got you.
Yeah.
You're not like totally wiping Favors off the planet for Bryant there, but
right, yeah, it's not even. I think if I built an optimal lineup and it had Favors in it, I don't even think switching to Bryant would be one of the things that I considered.
No, I don't disagree there. Just trying to see other guys in that range. Power forward center: Olynyk, Okafor, Noah, Check Diallo, Jeff Green. Nothing lovely there. Thomas Bryant, Rolo, Willie Cauley-Stein, Brook Lopez, Kyle O'Quinn, JaVale, Dwight Powell, who's also getting ownership, so that doesn't matter. Yeah, look, I understand it, but man, Derrick Favors, the Utah Jazz version of Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah, I mean, so I have looking at DraftKings pricing. I have Gobert as my number 1 play from Utah. I have Favors number 2. I have Rubio number 3. I have Mitchell a step below at number 4, and then another step below, but still like marginal. I have Ingles and Crowder.
I like Ingles a lot for 5K on DK. He would be second for me behind Rubio.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, so you'd rather play Ingles than Gobert?
On DraftKings?
Yeah.
Maybe. Probably. I would imagine that I would get more Joe Ingles than Rudy Gobert today on DraftKings.
If you're looking to get away from Derrick Favors chalk, you know what you do is you play Jay Crowder.
That is a very true statement. Crowder a little chalky as well. I mean, not chalky, but 10% ownership.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that I like Crowder more. I just like Crowder. Like I have Crowder behind Mitchell and ahead of Ingles.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of Ingles right now. I don't know why. Kind of scary.
Yeah, one of us is gonna have a really good night tonight, and one's gonna have a really bad night.
Yeah, we are not running in lockstep today. That's for sure. We'll see where we end up at like 5:00 once news and stuff comes out. Either way, I'm gonna have a lot of the Jazz. Gobert, Mitchell, Rubio, Favors, Ingles, Crowder, all in play.
Yeah, and it feels like the right time in the show to point out that Quinn Snyder normally gives his starters pretty healthy minutes at home, even in non-competitive games, as long as it's not like a 30-point result.
Also, don't play Derrick Favors on FanDuel at 6,400.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah, he's still 10% owned, but don't do that one. Clippers side, I have basically no interest in anyone on this team. That's it for me. Do you have any Clippers takes?
No, not really. Like it's not helpful. It's not really even helpful for anyone for me to point out that Lou Williams can score a lot of points because everyone knows that. He's not someone that's getting in a lot of my lineups.
Okay. Alrighty. Moving on. 2 games left. Now you get to talk about your boy. And this is going to be a very interesting conversation. I think that I am quite low, and I might need to look at this. 113 implied total for the Kings, 115 for the Bucks. Good, both teams good defensively. Should be a fast-paced game. Got Marvin Bagley for the Kings, 8K on FanDuel, most expensive guy now, 6,700 on DraftKings. I really only have interest, surprise, surprise, Willie Cauley-Stein's $4,500 price tag on DraftKings. If I end up with Bagley or Hield or Barnes, Bogdan, Fox, whatever, I don't expect to have any sort of volume on anybody from the Sacramento Kings.
I think that it's a really interesting spot for Hield. Milwaukee, as good as they've been this year, they have given up either the most or close to the most three-point attempts. They also haven't been efficient at defending against threes. And then you have Buddy Hield coming in, who is going to just chuck a lot of them and is reasonably priced. I like Buddy Hield more than anyone. I like Buddy Hield like similarly to Marvin Bagley and more than anyone else in Sacramento.
How many minutes have you given to Bagley and Willie Cauley-Stein?
I have Bagley at like 35. I have Cauley-Stein at 26.
Okay, that's what I figured. And that would make things look significantly more reasonable for me. I had 28
I think
for
you
Willie
could
Cauley-Stein. I don't need to be there.
How many do you have for Cauley-Stein?
I had 28. I went down to 26.
I think that's fine. I don't think it's crazy.
Well, even at 26, I'm still twice the field, so it all balances out a little bit better for me here. It's hard for me to really talk about anybody specific from the Kings.
Yeah, so Bagley grades out really well for me, and so does Hield. Obviously, with Bagley, it comes with the risk of dealing with Giannis, but he's just so good on a per minute basis. You know, both these guys basically 1.1 fantasy point per minute plays. The matchup for Hield in particular, I think, is just really plays to his strengths.
On Wowie, there we go. All right, we'll move to Milwaukee. The floor is yours.
I love Giannis here. Price tag on DraftKings down to $11K. What's he out on FanDuel? Because I know they always have him
12-1.
Okay, I mean that's obviously a bit different, but he's $100 less expensive than LeBron. You have Giannis, who actually, you know, the minutes have been the only issue with him this season from a DFS perspective, but in his last 4 or 5 games, he's played 33 minutes against Minnesota in a 12-point win. Played 37 against Boston in a 1-point game. Played 38 against Indiana in a 9-point game. Played 35 against Chicago in a 13-point game. Coming off of a rest today. So, and going into Sacramento, a team that is very competitive. It's a road game for Milwaukee, which is nice. Fast-paced game. Not good rebounding Sacramento team. Giannis is the best point per minute player in the NBA. It's not particularly close. He's averaging 1.75 fantasy points per minute since the start of January.
Yep. Number 1 in my list.
Yeah. I absolutely love Giannis here. I have him at 35 minutes, like 63 DraftKings points. He's my favorite play.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at his rates right now to see where I'm off, because not that I think that I'm off. I probably need to give him a little bit more rebounding there. Defense 2-3, 2-1. Yeah, I'm not getting him the same way you are. I clearly understand that he is Giannis Antetokounmpo and he's fantastic. So I'm just not anywhere near that 1.8 or 1.7 whatever number. But I want to see if I make any adjustments if I get there. And I'm not really getting there. So I've got him at 1.64 on FanDuel tonight. I've got him at 55 DraftKings points in 34 minutes.
Yeah, I have 63 and 35.
I would be very surprised if I got much of anything from Giannis tonight. And I am not comfortable with that statement whatsoever.
So I'm actually pretty excited because I haven't been playing Giannis a lot at all lately, just because of the minutes issues. But it feels good to actually go into a slate knowing I'm going to have Giannis.
I don't know what to push up to get him much more than I have him right now. Do you like anything else from the Bucks? I like Bledsoe quite a bit on FanDuel. I'm fine with Brook Lopez at 4,500 on DraftKings. Little bits of Bledsoe or Middleton are fine, but I'm not getting as much Milwaukee here as I expected to.
Yeah, I mean, I have Middleton, Brogdon, Bledsoe, Lopez, all as good plays, but secondary options on this slate. Giannis is the one that I expect to be a core play for me.
Okay. Let me see. Well, I know who I'm greatly preferring in this.
Would you rather play Brook Lopez or Willie Cauley-Stein?
Brook Lopez.
Okay, yeah, same here.
We're going to be talking about my love. Well, so I like Towns a lot more than I like Giannis tonight.
Okay.
And I'm going to like somebody in this next game. Do you have anybody else you want to touch on from the Bucks?
No, just to reiterate, like any Bucks that I get, I'm happy with. But Giannis is the guy.
Okay. Final game, everybody. Hit that like button before the final game. Los Angeles Lakers hosting the New Orleans Pelicans. Lakers 122 implied total, highest on the slate. Actually, what's that Kings Bucks line? That could be my issue. There was not a line on that game when I woke up and did this. So if I'm really low, that'll push it. We've got.
I have 119 on Milwaukee.
Yeah, I'm significantly off. So I had a 6 point short and a bigger spread for Milwaukee. So if I move that to 5.5, 234. Nothing really changes all that much, but I like Giannis a little bit more. I just won't be there, and that'll be nerve-wracking. It won't be nerve-wracking. I'll probably be asleep. I won't be asleep. Golf show tonight at 9 o'clock, people. I'll be watching the tip-off of that Bucks game. All right, let's close this out. Lakers and Pelicans, 122 implied total for the Lakers, 116.5 for the Pels. Highest implied total for the Lakers. Pelicans are in the top third. We've got pace up spot across the board. Lakers defense is bad. Pelicans defense is bad. LeBron James is 12,000 on FanDuel, 11-1 on DK, $53 on Yahoo. I think LeBron might be my favorite play of the day.
It's my second favorite play, just barely behind Giannis.
Yeah, I have LeBron significantly ahead of Giannis for this one. Ownership will play a big role. Giannis is like half of that. So it is something that I want to dig into. But for right now, on FanDuel, without question, LeBron James is everything. On DK at 11-1, just because there's so many different ways to get to studs and rotate through everyone, I'll never be that high. I'll never be as high as someone on FanDuel. But yeah, all day, tons of LeBron. I want it.
Yeah, no, I'm there with you. You said that we have Giannis projected for half the ownership right now.
I think so.
Okay, yeah. I mean I have them projected very, very similarly. I have LeBron with a couple minutes more than Giannis.
Yeah.
I actually went ahead and bumped Giannis up to 36 just to make sure that I'm getting the Giannis that I want.
LeBron 23, Giannis 14.
Yeah. I'm fine with both of those numbers, but yeah, I have LeBron like just barely behind Giannis, and then it's a drop off to anyone else on the slate for me.
Okay. Yeah, massive amount of LeBron for me. I'll have a little bit of Brandon Ingram. I'll have more than a little bit of Kyle Kuzma. Both of those guys seem to be getting some ownership as well. What do you think of? Well, do you like Ingram or Kuzma?
I like Kuzma a lot. Ingram's fine. I prefer Kuzma.
Okay. I do prefer Kuzma as well, especially on DK. Not really that close. Rondo is 4,300 on FanDuel. I think that's worth pointing out. I hate it, but
I mean, you need foul trouble somewhere for him to get the minutes.
Yep. Well, at 4,300, I'm not even so bummed. But if he does get foul trouble,
yeah,
it could be really crazy.
What is our ownership projection on JaVale McGee?
These guys like every expensive guy and not me. I just got done saying I don't like Giannis. What's the ownership on JaVale? 3%.
That is interesting to me.
How many minutes does he play?
So last game he played 19 minutes, but he picked up 2 fouls in the first 4 minutes of the game. He picked up his third foul, then he played a minute and a half and just went back to the bench, didn't really play the rest of the half. Played a ton in the second half to get to those 19 minutes. He's averaging, since the middle of January, so over his last 16 games, It's averaging 1.25 fantasy points per minute. Even if I project him for 19 minutes at 4,400 on DraftKings, I get him as a good play. If I give him like 22 minutes, he becomes like my favorite play in that price range.
Yeah, I have him at 20 minutes right now. I would have to give him quite a bit more to really get any sort of volume here. I don't disagree.
Like,
I mean, 1.27 fantasy points is where I have him. So every
he's
minute
a
is important.
viable he's a viable Dwight Powell or Derrick Favors pivot, especially Derrick Favors because it's similar minutes issues.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And this is definitely a spot where you can see more JaVale. Pelicans are chock full of big dudes.
Yeah, that they are.
Yeah.
So just kind of quickly, and I don't have Marvin Williams is probable now.
What?
Marvin Williams is not probable.
Of course he is. Probable. That's interesting.
Yeah, so ignore the Jeremy Lamb, Miles Bridges stuff. Just quickly looking at JaVale McGee's minutes. 19 against Memphis when he was in foul trouble. 16 in the last game against the Pels. 20 against Houston. 13 against Atlanta. He was in foul trouble. 26 against Philly. 30 against Boston. Like 22 is high for sure. But the point I was making is just that like that's all he needs to get for him to grade out as a really, really good play for me.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I don't disagree at all. Alrighty. Pelicans. There's a ton to like here, and I hate it. I hate these teams. Ugh. Drew Holiday is 9,200 on FanDuel, 7,600 on DraftKings, 39 on Yahoo. I love Drew. It's only 7% ownership on DraftKings. I just want to have more Drew than that.
Yeah, I don't really know what to make of Drew because he was on that fake minutes limit for literally one game.
Yeah.
So how many minutes do you have him at?
34.
You cut out. Did you say 34?
Yes, 34.
Okay, yeah, that's where I'm going to go too, and it makes him a good play.
Even better play, though. Julius Randle is 8,100 on FanDuel. Whew. 7,800 on DraftKings, 32 on Yahoo. I like Randle a ton. 8% expected ownership on DK. I'll be over that number. I just want to have a lot of this game. It's such a monster total. No defense whatsoever. I'm in for a lot of Julius Randle.
Yeah, I'm there with you. Similar price point to like LaMarcus Aldridge, but a much more appealing game.
Josh, do you expect Holiday to score 50 plus? No. Be a really, really high projection for Drew Holiday. If I expected him to score 50 plus, he'd be my number one play of the day. He's 7,600. I would like him to if I roster him, but what I expect and what I need are two very different things. No one's projecting tournament winning scores to people. Like, that's not how this works. Then why would you play him at 9K? I wouldn't. I would play him at 7,600 on DraftKings. I would play a little bit of him on FanDuel at 9,200. But no, you can't look at people like, oh, I need 60 out of him, and I don't think he gets 60, so that's not how this works. I mean, it is how it works, but like,
right. It needs to be in the like reasonable range of outcomes.
Yeah.
Not what you think is going to happen.
No.
To win tournaments, projections are going to be wrong.
Yeah, we've said this before. The winning scores for the players in a tournament winning lineup are all really bad projections. Except for guys that are like, 3,800 or something like that. But if you have a 9K guy in your line in a lineup and it wins a tournament, your projection was probably really shitty on him in comparison to what he did.
Yeah, it's why you factor in things like volatility for players and how far they tend to differ from their projection.
Right. Like, I don't need Drew Holiday to be at 55 fantasy points 100% of the time. I just want to know what percentage of time he does that. And there's a way to deal with that sort of information. I need to know how often he can get to those ceilings. It's not binary. So in for a lot of Randall. Are you going to do it? Anthony Davis, 8,700 on FanDuel, 7,200 on DK, 47 on Yahoo.
I'm good.
Is there any chance he plays here?
Plays?
Like, plays.
I'd be very surprised. They've actually been sticking to what they'd said they were going to do with him.
Sure. I don't disagree. Just putting it out there. It is in LA against the Lakers.
Yeah. Okay, so what? Like, how's that conversation go? Anthony Davis just goes up to Gentry and it's just like, "Hey, I know we have this plan in place. We agreed. Blah 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 blah. I really want to play in front of these Lakers fans. Can I go play more minutes?"
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
And Gentry does what? Like punches him on the spot?
Maybe. Probably should. Look, just putting it out there, just in case.
No, I mean, if it were like a 4, it's clearly something that could happen. I don't think it's going to happen. On a 4 or 5 game slate, I would definitely be making sure I had some Anthony Davis lineups just in case. On this slate, we've already had so many guys where it's like, I really like him, but I don't know how much I can get. I don't need to be giving Anthony Davis, potential minutes he probably doesn't get.
I don't disagree. Elfrid Payton, 6,200 on FanDuel, 5,200 on DK. Getting minutes. I like Elfrid Payton quite a bit.
Yeah, I really like the DraftKings price tag at 52.
Yeah, fantastic. And I continue to get a little bit of Kenrich Williams every day.
I'm coming in lower on the Pels than I feel like I should be. I like these guys, but they're just not coming in as high as I thought they would.
Okay. Following up on the thing about Drew's points, that most of us who make lineups don't use a model that spits out who we should play, so we have to figure out who we think is going to score a GPP winning score for each position. Yeah, I can't imagine thinking about it like that.
Yeah, I mean
we're doing the exact same thing, but I'm not thinking about the score that I like. I want everybody to score 40 something points in a certain range of outcomes. That's what I need to win the tournament.
When I first started playing DFS, when I was making lineups by hand and not using any sort of projection model or anything like that, I like I said earlier, I would try and make like the best lineup I could. And for tournaments, the way I did that was I would I basically make like a lineup with the most potential upside that I could get.
Yeah.
I would say, do I think this guy can hit this score some, reasonable percentage of the time? I didn't know what that percentage was because I didn't have a computer. Like I wasn't looking at a model, but you can look at it that way, but it's still not, you're still never looking at it like, do I think he does that here? Because the answer should always be no.
Right.
It's can he do that here? And then you look at ownership and you figure out, so this player, player A is projected for 20% ownership, and I think he can hit 60 fantasy points. Player B at the same price is projected for 3% ownership. I think he's similarly likely to hit 60 fantasy points. You can make that pivot there, but you're just never going to actually be looking at him and saying, I think he does this.
No, not at anybody with like high-ish salary. The only time you're ever saying like, oh, can this guy get to 35 or 40? It's a guy that plays 18 minutes that's going to get 28 minutes at 4K. Yeah. Those guys can be legitimately projected to a target score that is what you want.
The other exception is James Harden when Chris Paul's out.
Right. But no, like we're talking about the same thing, but projecting a guy at projecting Drew Holiday to score 55 points is not going to be a projection that's like quote unquote correct. It's all about how often he gets there. And I think we're saying sort of the same things, just the quirks in the information. But I think Adam's explanation nailed it. Anybody else for the Pels?
I don't think so.
Alrighty. You ready to thrive?
Yeah. We got through that show pretty quick.
You know what? We really did. 11 games.
Yeah, all things considered.
Yeah, 11 games. So it's going to be a little long. All right, let's pull up Thrive. Thrive Fantasy, everybody. Bit.ly/Awesemo. $10 on your first $10 deposit, 20 on 100, 50 on 200. All right, there we go. Let's refresh and take a look at some of this stuff. All righty, first guy up, Thrive Props. Ooh, this one's actually pretty fun. You get 90 points for the over. 18.5 is the total. Points plus assists. God, I can't type. Okay. Goran Dragic.
I have the under.
Yeah, I've got him at 14.9.
I'm at 15.8.
Okay. Yeah, but you get 110 points for the under.
Yeah.
So he would probably be one of my top plays.
Yep.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Karl-Anthony Towns. You get 110 points for the over. Points plus rebounds, 35.5.
I'd be taking this one before I took the Dragic one.
So would I. 43.4 is what I've got right now.
I'm like 41 something.
Okay. Yeah. Double smash there between Dragic and Towns. We touched on him early. Feels like it was 2 hours ago because it was. Trae Young. Points plus rebounds plus assists. Even action on both sides. 31.5. And I'm smashing the over here.
Way over me. I have like 30.
I agree. Are you looking at them right now?
Yeah.
Any standing out for you? Your boy's not on there.
What'd you say? Luka's not on there?
No.
I think the Bradley Beal one's interesting.
I almost went to it.
Yeah. 10.5 rebounds plus assists with 105 points for the over.
I'm taking the over. I got him at 11.8.
I have him at 12.1.
There we go. Another easy one. Close this out. Give me one more.
Let's go with...
I know what you're taking.
Do you? Because I haven't... I don't know what I'm taking.
I've typed it in, so this should be interesting.
Yeah, I don't... now I'm trying to figure out what you think I'm taking. I'll go with the Ricky Rubio.
Gets it! Nice! Nails it.
20.5 total points plus assists, 110 points for the over.
I've got him at 22.8, so I'm taking the over. It's all on video. Everybody knows it's true. I typed it in before you said it. That's outstanding.
I have it at like 23.5.
I was so nervous that you were going to say Donovan Mitchell or something. I was going to be like, well, same team.
I was between those two and then Marvin Bagley.
Okay. I thought Kuzma was viable for a second.
Yeah. I almost did the Myles Turner blocks plus steals.
That was my other one. I was just like, that one's weird enough.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy that I got that right. That's outstanding. 16 different props that could have been. Nails it. Hopefully that's a good sign for today. I doubt that it has anything to do with it, but...
It took us 2 hours. We finally agreed on one thing.
Yeah. That has nothing to do with DFS.
Right.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. NBA Strategy is the promo code. 50% off your first month with us. It's one big word. NBA Strategy. Any package you choose, including packages with Fantasy Crunchers. So if you want to check us out, you can get 50% off. Thanks, as always, to Thrive Fantasy. You see the logo on the screen. If you go to bit.ly/Awesemo, you can get 10 on 10, 20 on 100, or 50 on 200. And you can play that Ricky Rubio prop that Adam and I love so much. Rest of today, Laffy will have the deep dive out in the early afternoon. We will have the deeper dive starting at 4:45. We'll be a little early today because of the monster slate. We will have live before lock from 6 to 7 with Chris and Eddie. I believe that I'll be on DK Live's The Sweat Show tonight, so check that out if you're interested. But do that in 2 separate tabs. Keep our live show open as well. And then finally, tonight, Ben Raza, Jason Roslin, doing a live before lock golf show for the Honda Classic. So that starts at 9 p.m. tonight. If you want to get your golf strategy in, tune in for that. It's a great show for golf DFS. It is basically the only reason that I play golf is because I listen to these guys. So, Adam, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Alrighty, I'm gonna go update my projections to account for Marvin Williams, just in case everybody was curious. Oh, X Cossack, most recent message in YouTube chat. Marvin is playing. I didn't even mean to say that. So we're on the same page, you and I. X. All right, best of luck, everybody. We'll talk to you later.